Hello, 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 hello. I was teaching about a week ago at Mark Adams School of Woodworking in Indianapolis. And we did really interesting project. It was like 19th century style shelf. Now, while I was teaching, one person, really good person, I know him for at least 8 years, he said on Wednesday, he said, I'm gonna tell you on Friday what is wrong with the basswood. And obviously we use the American basswood, which is equal to lime wood in Europe, linden wood in Germany, Tilia in Spain and also South America, Lipa in Russia. In Romania they call it like a tea tree, but basswood, the basswood. And I bugged him and I asked him, just tell me now. And he said, no, wait until Friday. And he's a really nice person. And on Friday, finally, he said, well, the basswood is like MDF for woodworkers. It's a really cheap, lack of any grain, lacks of any grain, and it just not good wood. And that's kind of bugged me a little bit. I was born in Soviet Union, in Russia to be exact, and Lipa, which is the same wood as a basswood or lime wood in Europe, it's pretty much the same wood. And we had a saying, it's made from Lipa, so it's just like no good. Lipovy, that's how we would say it, okay? So that is no good. And some people, they really think lime wood and basswood, it's like MDF for the woodworker. But in reality, I don't know any other books besides the book written about basswood, which is a lime wood in Europe, or linden in Germany. There's a book, university level, in a course, one of the courses in universities. It's called Limewood Sculptors of Renaissance Germany. Maybe I don't know too much, but I didn't see any books like cherry wood furniture makers of, let's say, Renaissance France, or mahogany wood or mahogany furniture makers of Great Britain. Maybe there are some books. Everybody knows, cherry is wonderful wood, and mahogany is great wood. Walnut is wonderful wood for the furniture making. But for I just love walnut for the look of it, for the how beautifully it ages and so on. But lime wood or basswood, known for at least 500 years. What I'm saying, woodworkers and wood carvers used lime wood, or like I said, it's equal to American basswood, for at least 500 years. I'm pretty sure it was used before, but the books mentioning the lime wood, it just goes back to like medieval times. There's a reason, or should I say multiple reasons, why wood carvers, professional wood carvers, not just the beginners, the most famous wood carvers, they would choose pretty much a basswood or lime wood or linden wood or lipa. The famous ones. Historically, it's known, for example, if you go to Germany and if you're gonna look inside of the churches, before the Reformation, before they destroyed all the art and stuff like this, look for the work of Tilman Riemenschneider, famous before Reformation wood carver. You can find really beautiful sculptures out of the lime wood. That's what he used. And that is, by the way, just a project for my online school, and if you're welcome to check it out, schoolofwoodcarving.com. But Tilman Riemenschneider, he used only lime wood, and it's known fact. Well, obviously he didn't think that is a MDF. I mean, obviously they didn't have a MDF, but they had different species of wood. Why? I mean, the question why he did not use oak, which is plenty of oak trees in Germany. Why he didn't use even walnut? Lots of walnut, in some parts of Germany, more southern parts of Germany. Lots of that stuff. Why he didn't use any other woods for the wood carving? He obviously chose, and not only him, but like I mentioned in the book, lime wood, basswood, or lipa. And think about it, it's a 5,000 years later. You still can go, you can still walk in that church, and you still look at the work is done, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's still there. Okay, survived 5,000 years. Some of the work you can find in Russia, especially in northern part of Russia, like almost like 1,000 years old. Okay, and it is done also in the basswood. I mean, basswood was carved, and it's still there. I mean, you can just go and just check historical sites, and it's there, like 1,000 years. Now, another person would be really good example. That would be Grinling Gibbons of Great Britain, from England back then. So famous wood carver of 17th century, beginning of 18th century. He died in 1721, and he was born in 1648, as far as I remember. I could be wrong. But anyway, yes, he was born in Holland, and then he moved to England. And England, woodworkers and wood carvers, they used oak, which is beautiful brown oak in England. And I had the chance to carve it. It just carves really nicely. I liked the look of the oak and so on. But for some reason, he was one of the first in England who started to use lime wood. They actually even shipped some of the lime wood from Holland just for him to carve it. Honestly, he did not consider that as a cheap or really bad wood. I mean, that wood would be called like a queen of the woods or queen of the forest. When you go to England, just if you have a chance to go to most famous royal houses like Hampton and so on, so just to check his work, all of his work was done in lime wood, in basswood. It wasn't like MDF for woodworkers. And he's probably the most famous wood carver in the history. Well, not necessarily maybe the best. I mean, there are different ones. Let me tell you the reasons what I think why basswood is not MDF as an MDF for woodworkers, and it's not cheap. If you're saying it's cheap, you probably didn't buy lately that wood. It's not that cheap as you think. It's still considered, by the way, as a hardwood species. Okay, the reason why it's chosen by lots of woodworkers and wood carvers. Just to pull one of the projects I'm working right now. First of all, if you look at the grain, this is just a project I'm working right now. I mean, you can see a couple of those down in the background. But if you look at the grain of it, you honestly don't see the grain, and he was completely right. So it just doesn't have pronounced grain. It does have a grain. It does have a grain, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have a pronounced grain. And it's actually plus, not the minus. It's something positive. It's not something negative. Just because it doesn't have a grain, it does not distract your eye from the design form what you're trying to carve. It's my opinion. It just doesn't destruct. You can do really complex work, like you see right there on the wall. And if just imagine if I would just have all over the grain of the wood running on that piece, it would destruct from all the movements. It's the reason number one. Obviously, the softness of it, how nicely you can shape it. First of all, you don't break as many tools. I mean, sometimes you do, even with the basswood, with the lime wood, but you don't break as many tools with that. Pretty much just because of the softness of the wood, there is absolutely no limit what you can do with that. You can cut, you can undercut, you can get inside and out. It's not that crunchy like oak, let's say. Although, like I said, I used to carve all of those species: cherry, oak, mahogany, multiple different species. Whatever the client demands, I'll do. But I still prefer to do my work with basswood or limewood, lipa, linden, tilia. So it's still choice number one for me. The grain is reason number one. The reason number two, really important. Again, when you will have a chance, or if you live in UK, just go to those royal houses, royal places, and check the carving. Some of it's going to be, like I said before, done in oak, and some of it done in limewood. Check how many cracks oak already developed. A lot of cracks. Limewood, on the other hand, I mean, yes, you can see a couple of the works, of Grinling Gibbons. It does have a pronounced cracks, but majority of his work, it's still really stable and no cracks. Do you know the reason why? Because the grain, when it dries out, there's absolutely no water left inside. More it dries, it becomes more solid, and the big movement stops after approximately 10 years. Well, I don't know, I can't testify to that, but you can see this piece was done. This was in 2000, I believe, 14, I think, 12 or 14, but I have zero cracks on it because it's completely dried out, and it's the seasonal movement almost does not exist, or it's really minimal. So what I'm trying to say, it's actually more stable wood than those hardwoods, which are a lot more expensive. You will see a lot more cracks on the cherry wood after a while because it's much harder and it dries slower. I mean, it stops at some point, but not like so quickly like a lime wood in 10 years. So just because it just dries, it stops, the seasonal movement. I mean, it doesn't stop completely. Please don't comment and say you don't know what you're talking about. But I can prove to you, so my work, and I am carving all my life, I don't see any cracks because it just stopped. Obviously, depends how dry the wood in the beginning. I use most of the time I try to use air dry basswood or limewood, lindenwood, tilia, lipa. What I do, I buy big loads, like huge trucks, and then I stock and wait for a few years before I pull it and I carve it. Some of my limewood or basswood about 20 years old. I have actually a few pieces like almost 30 years old, and I still didn't carve it. It's all the movement is already stopped. The second thing, I'm not just buying, let's say, normal limewood or basswood. I buy really thick 16 quarter, which is about 4 inches, about 100 millimeters or so, approximately, stock, and then I resew it and make it quarter sewn. If I'm buying, most of the time the supplier gonna sell me plain sewn, and I would just resew, and that's gonna become a quarter sewn or rift sewn, depends the angle I'm gonna establish how I resew it. And when you carving a quarter sewn, it just doesn't develop any cracks. So that is couple reasons. Like I said, lack of grain, more than couple, 3 reasons, because it doesn't have pronounced grain. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous color. It's just like, I'm not sure if you can catch it, but when it's aging, it develops like a pinkish color almost. Reason number 2, the softness of it. You can just do whatever you wish. There's no limit, absolutely no limit. The limitation is only your hands. Your tools are not sharp, and the lack of knowledge of the design are what you're doing. But if the tool is sharp, you know what you're doing, there's no limit. And the third one, it's just no more seasonal movement. It's like less than 3% after a little bit, okay? It's like nothing, okay? It's just absolutely like nothing. I hope it answered your question. Please like it, subscribe it if it was helpful. It helps a little bit. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.